Number one reason you can't lose the weight.
Invincible.
So this is actually pretty funny, right? Because I know in my own journey of losing weight, I've lost 65 pounds, but I was always like, what's the reason? Why can't I lose the weight? Like, I've started and stopped a million times. I've done a million things. How come, like, I've tried all these diets and all these fads and, like, all this stuff, and, like, I can't lose weight? You know, and, like, lay in bed at night, like, can't even sleep because you're like, oh my gosh, like, all I want to do is lose, like, freaking a couple pounds. I want to look good in my bikini. I want to, like, feel good about myself, and, like, I can't do it. Why is everything failing me? Why is everything I try suck? Or, like, it's no fun, or I hate it, or it makes me hate my life, or it's so hard, or I have to count too many things. I'm like, why can't I lose weight? Because I know you're probably thinking, if you're watching this video, you're probably thinking the same exact thing right now, right? You're like, oh my gosh, like, tried a million things, started a million things, stopped a million things, like, stood on my head, drank this algae from under a rock in the ocean, like, went to the gym, like, had all these kind of crazy memberships, tried all these million programs, like, did all this stuff, right? And you're like, ugh, but why can't I actually lose the weight? And this is something I went through on my own journey, and just realizing, like, oh, like, actually think about, like, what's the common denominator in all of the stuff that you start and stop? You, right? You're the only common denominator of all of the things. You. So it's not the programs, right? It's not the programs. It's not the stuff. It's not like all of it will work if you just do it and stay consistent. Yeah, other ways are healthier than others, or more fun than others, or more realistic for your lifestyle, but anything will work if you stick to it. So the common denominator is you, or it was me at the time that I realized this. And I was just like, oh my gosh, right? Like, mind blown. Oh, it's not the stuff, it's me. And so then I was like, wow, well, that actually makes it better. Because if it's me, then it's something I can actually control and I can change, right? And what I found to be true was the reason I couldn't lose the weight, and the same reason that you're not losing the weight, is because you haven't lost the weight up here first. You have to see yourself at the goal. It has to be done in your head and done in your mind, and to where, like, whatever path you take to get there, like, it's gonna get you there. But you have to see it before you'll see it. Does that make sense? Like, you'll have to see it here in your mind before you'll ever see it here. And, you know, right now, like, this is your obstacle. You are your obstacle that you're having to overcome. And for most of us, like, we discourage ourselves every day along the way and wonder why we're not losing weight, right? We're like, we get up in the morning, we're like, ugh, it's freaking breakfast, and I look terrible in this outfit I'm gonna wear to work. I hate this. I'll just put on a sweater instead. Like, why haven't I lost any weight yet? And we get all, like, mad at ourselves, right? Like, we get all, like, mad and upset, and then we're like, oh, like, it's this thing's problem, or it's that thing's fault, or it's so-and-so that we're blaming. And then it's like, wait a second, right? It's probably because I tell myself every day that I can't do it is the reason why I'm not doing it. Because when you sit and tell yourself, like, oh, this is so hard, or this is so terrible, or I hate this, and blah, 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 like, no wonder we're not actually doing it, and, like, doing it to the best of our ability, and actually taking action on it, and actually losing the weight we want to lose, right? Wow. Profound, huh? This is some crazy concepts here, huh? I know, and I remember the exact day that I had this epiphany, and it was literally in the middle of a sentence. I was like, well, if that program would just be better for me, then I would be able to do it. And I was like, wait, that makes freaking no sense at all. I was like, it's totally me. It's not the program, is it? Like, and I hope you're getting this right now. Like, I really hope you're getting this for you right now, because it's not the program. The number one reason you're not losing weight is you and your mindset that you have about losing weight. Because every day you're telling yourself, I can't do it, I can't lose the weight, I can't do this, I can't eat healthy, I can't not eat that donut, I can't not eat McDonald's if I'm driving past it, I can't not like watch Netflix all night, you know? Instead of telling ourselves and using a motivation toward what we want to accomplish, we're constantly focused on what we're having to give up. And so if we're constantly focused on what we're having to give up, like I'm having to give up hanging out with my friends, I'm having to give up fast food, I'm having to give up all of my favorite treats, right? I'm having to give up time sitting on the couch to be at the gym. Like when we focus on all of what we're having to give up all the time, then it's like, well, I don't want to do all that. Why would I want to do that? So we kind of like self-sabotage ourselves back into like not doing it because we don't want to do it anyways, because that's the way we framed it in our mind. But if, you know, you start looking at motivation towards what you're doing and start thinking like, oh, like I'm going to look freaking amazing in a bikini, or I'm going to feel freaking great. I'm going to have energy through the roof. I'm going to feel amazing. I'm going to look amazing. I'm going to have confidence. I'm going to be able to like perform at my job better, and like all of those things are the things I want, and it's in that direction, right? Instead of like focusing on what I'm having to give up or what's being taken away from me. Like none of us like things being taken away, but what are the things we have to gain if we actually move in that direction? And so the number one reason you're not losing the weight is because mentally you have stopped yourself. You have capped yourself. You have told yourself that you can't do it every day, so no wonder you're not going to do it. Good stuff. So I'm just going to be real with you. Right now, if you set out and you change the way that you talk to yourself every day, and you tell yourself every day your goal and that you can do it and why you can do it, and don't focus on your flaws or where you're at now. Say, yeah, like I am where I am, but I can't wait to be where I'm going. And you focus on the forward, not the backward. And you focus on where you're going and what you're going to achieve and how you're going to feel, instead of what you're having to give up and you know, everything that you're losing out on, right? But you're not losing out on much. Like losing out on feeling terrible from eating drive-through food, like losing out on having low energy and like wanting to lounge around all day. Like that's what you're losing out on. Like focus on what you're going to gain. Focus on where you're going. Focus on the energy you're going to have and the life that you're going to live, and how much more you're going to be able to do with your kids, and how your spouse is going to see you, and how you're going to be your role model for people in your family, or how much more confidence you're going to have at work or closing deals or whatever it is that you do. What are the things that you're going to gain from it? And when you focus on that, and you focus on telling yourself that you can do it every day, and committing in your mind that you're going to do it, and allowing your language to be consistent with that goal, instead of trying to instead of allowing your mind to self-sabotage you every time, like then you'll be able to lose the weight. So it's not the program, it's not the plan, it's not the fad, it's none of this, it's not the gym membership, it's none of that. It's you. You're the number one reason that you haven't been able to lose the weight. But now you're gonna do it, and you've got this. So now go write it down. Go write all this down, everything that you're focused on, what you're going to do, your goals, where you're moving forward, the language that you're going to say to yourself, the things that you're going to do, because now you're going to be able to go do it. So I'll see you guys later.